If you're a beauty professional and you don't have a clear outline for your overall client experience, I can guarantee you it's directly hurting your retention. So keep listening if you want to learn exactly my client experience checklist in order to make sure that you are retaining your clients. Welcome to The Rebel Show, the podcast for estheticians who want to grow their business, master social media, and perfect their waxing technique. I'm Brie Mesquit, esthetician, business coach, and founder of Rebel Wax and first-to-market wax pads. I built a 6-figure clientele, a 7-figure brand, and have trained over 15,000 waxers through my in-person and online courses. Are you struggling to book clients or market yourself? You're in the right place. Each week, I bring real business strategies, waxing education, and no BS advice to help you grow. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to The Rebel Show. I'm Brie Mesquit, and today I'm going to be going through my exact client experience checklist that I use currently right now at my commission-based waxing studio, but also what I use to build up my 6-figure clientele when I first went solo 8 years ago, which is crazy to say, but this checklist is so extremely important for you guys to be following and be consistent on so that you are making sure you are retaining the new clients that you guys are obtaining. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, definitely go back and listen because I talk about the 3 areas of focus: bringing in new clients, retaining them, and reinstating old clients. This episode is really going to dig in to how it is that you can retain your clients, and it's directly related to the overall client experience. Number 1, your client experience truly, it starts on whatever marketing material they come across first, whether it's your social media, maybe a paid ad, maybe your website. But let's start from the client experience as soon as they book an appointment with you, okay? So that's where we're going to start. Their first impression after booking: confirmation text. I know this sounds really simple and basic now, but you'd be surprised how many people are not utilizing online booking platforms and they're still doing the good old texting back and forth and pen and paper. First of all, that's going to really hurt you when it comes to bringing in new clients because it's outdated. It makes it very difficult for people to get in with you. But it's going to directly hurt your retention as well. People are used to that instant grad. They need instant confirmation that their booking has been received and that they are solidified on your books and that they have an appointment coming up and that everything went through correctly, okay? So automated confirmation texts are really, in my opinion, a must-have in 2025 and going forward. So Gloss Genius is my booking site that I personally use, but most booking platforms now have this option for you to set up that automation of a confirmation text. So as soon as they book, they get the confirmation, you have received their appointment, and they are all good to go. And then we'll call this step 1B, okay? That was 1A, the confirmation text. 1B, we will call a reminder text. So sending out a reminder text 24, 48 hours prior to their appointment. This is going to be huge for retention as well. It just makes it makes the client feel like you're more of an established, legit business when they are receiving these types of automations, okay? It's what they're used to now because so many businesses, service-based businesses, are utilizing platforms that do this already automatically for you. They're going to have a level of concern and unsureness about your business if they're not receiving these types of things, okay? So it's really important that you have this. So reminder text. Now keep in mind, this is a complete side note, but I just experienced this with a coaching client of mine. She was really frustrated because her reminder text would go out and then people would be canceling or rescheduling, but then technically they're within her late cancellation policy. So if you have a 24-hour late cancellation policy, have your reminder text go out at the 48-hour mark instead. So it gives people a little bit of buffer room to go ahead and reschedule if needed. Now, this may vary. Keep in mind, please, I'm always talking based on waxing services. Waxing services are much shorter service time than, say, a hairstylist or other beauty services available that take a longer amount of time, right? Facials, massage. So if you're in one of those categories, your cancellation policy may be, you need a little bit more notice in that case. But typically for waxing services, we have a 24-hour cancellation policy. So send that text out at 48, okay? That reminder text. Because It's always going to happen. You're going to have a couple people that reminder text comes through and then like, shoot, I actually had something come up with my kids or this or that or whatever. And they're going to have to go ahead and reschedule. All right. Now, you got all that taken care of. Now they show up for their appointment. So this next step, and it's really, really important, is greeting them by name, okay? This is their first impression now in person with you. So I like to have my schedule pulled up on a tablet, on your phone, somewhere visible that you're looking at throughout the day, and always knowing the next client that's coming. So if I'm in with a current client, I'm going to know what my next client's name is. Say Ashley is your next client, and she's a new client, and I'm in with a client currently, I will poke my head out. Hey, Ashley, it's so nice to see you. Go ahead, take a seat. I'll be right with you. I'm just finishing up. When you do that and they feel like you're expecting them and you call them by name, that does wonders. It's such a simple step, you guys. It's so low effort, but it's such high value for the client and the overall experience. So a warm greeting, calling them by name is really, really important, okay? Quick interruption to the show. I wanted to make sure that you are aware of my free 6-week hard waxing 101 course that I have put out for waxers to gain confidence in the treatment room, no matter where it is in your waxing career that you are at. You will also receive a certificate of completion once you complete the course. So visit us online, lashwaxoc.com, and you will click the training tab. Now back to the show. Next step is going to be just providing an excellent service in general and having great communication. You have to think people are really nervous about their first time going anywhere, especially if they're going to be receiving a Brazilian wax, okay? So you want to feel like you're over communicating. They're going to really, really appreciate this. So as simple as, okay, come on back. You can place your belongings on the chair to the left right there. We're doing a Brazilian wax for you. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and undress from the waist down. I'm going to turn my back and allow you to undress. Then you're going to lay down on the treatment table with your head up on this way, on your back, like walk through everything so they're not left. People will do the strangest things when they're nervous and in a new situation, and a vulnerable one for many people, getting a Brazilian wax. They'll walk in, they'll start walking to weird areas of your treatment room. If you don't tell them what to undress, you'll turn around and they'll be fully nude, or maybe they still have like their shorts on, or you turn around, they're laying flat on their stomach on the treatment table. Like they're just nervous. They're not. So walk them through everything. And then the service itself as well. Acknowledge, like if they're having a tough time when it comes to the discomfort associated, acknowledging that. I always like to use a little bit of humor, like, right? The things we go through as women, it's not fair, like things like that, but not making it where they feel like something's wrong. Like I always equate it to getting a tattoo. Like, you know what you're signing up for, right? Like it's going to be uncomfortable. You know that. Same thing with the Brazilian. So you want to acknowledge without making it like, yeah, this is really like terrible and something like this is abnormal. You want to walk them through it in a way where you're acknowledging, you're saying you're so like you're tough, you're great, whatever feels natural to you to like encourage them through that, but not making them feel like, okay, this is not how this experience is supposed to be going. And then also having very clear communication with them as well. Going to be really important during the service, after the service, explaining aftercare, all the things. That's going to be really huge when it comes to client experience. So one of my favorite things, I'll walk you through this real quick. This wasn't the plan of this episode, but for a new client, I like to ask them what their goal is for their wax. If they're trying to thin and soften their hair, if they just want to try this out one time for maybe an event. I always like to ask if they've ever experienced ingrowns or even razor burn in the past, because then we may want to recommend getting on a preventative treatment of an ingrown hair serum. And then I walk them through and teach them the 3 stages of hair growth and explain to them how we are going to work together to achieve their ultimate goal. Okay, so that's part of clear communication as well. Next is going to be your rebooking. Okay, it's really important that you focus on this, and this helps with retention and creating a great experience for them as well. So That's why I like to go over what their goal is in the treatment room, because if their goal is to thin and soften their hair, then I let them know, okay, so our first line of attack is we're going to work on syncing up your hair growth cycles. In order to do that, I need to see you back in 4 weeks. So before you leave today, I'll go ahead and make sure that we book your next appointment. I'm saying that in the treatment room. I'm setting myself up for an easy rebook at checkout. So then we don't get to check out and feel all nervous and awkward. Like, so would you, I never want to hear this. I never want to hear this out of anyone's mouth. Would you like to book your next appointment? It's too late. You've already lost them. First, I'll set it up how I just explained. Or one esthetician, she commented on one of my posts when I was asking people, like, what are some of your tips? I wish I knew her name. She said, she personally says, so your hair's not going to be long enough for about 3 to 4 weeks. Let's go ahead and get you booked for 4 weeks. I was like, ooh, I like that. Your hair's not going to be long enough. Like, it's such a positive on this. Like, you're achieving great results. Shaving, you have to, every other day, like if you really want to be like hairless. So I really liked that method too. But what I've found really works for me is really setting up that pre-book in the treatment room, because then it's a simple at checkout. All right, let's do 4 weeks like we talked about. So that falls on Thursday, the 12th. I have a 10 a.m. and a 1 p.m. Which one works best for you? And then you can go from there, okay? They might say, oh, that day doesn't work, and be like, okay, no problem. Look, we can fluctuate a few days. Let me look. What would work better, do you think? Tuesday, Friday? And then you can kind of give 2 options. Never give too many options. You guys don't be like, I'm wide open. No, give a morning option, give it afternoon. And then if they say, oh, 12 doesn't work, be like, okay, what time would, if you know that your books are pretty open, what time would work? And then be like 12:45 and be like, actually, I can make that work. Let's go ahead and get that booked. Okay. So that's going to be step number 4. Step number 5 is follow up. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so important. You need to follow up with all your new clients. Seriously, you really need to follow up with every single new client. I don't care how busy you get. If you get to the point where you literally do not have time to be doing this, it's time to hire a VA or some sort of customer service rep. They can totally be a VA working virtually. You need to be following up with all of your clients, like period. Okay. So any new client, you shoot them a text, maybe 24, 48 hours after their appointment, just to do a quick check-in. Personally, we will give out samples because we're trying to sell retail as well, right? So that it helps them just have a better result in general, reduction of ingrowns, make the next wax easier, and just ultimately help them achieve their goals. So with that, when we give little samples or scrub gloves or any of that to our new clients, then in the follow-up text about 48 hours afterwards, 24 to 48, you can say, hey, it's Bree. I just want to thank you so much for coming in and visiting. Just a friendly reminder, it's time to start using those samples that I gave you, and I wanted to see how your skin's feeling. You want to do that follow-up. It's so incredibly important, you guys. It makes them feel valued and cared for, and it just adds to the general overall client experience. It's really, really, really going to help you with your retention, okay? All right, and then lastly is going to be staying top of mind. You need to be marketing, you guys. You need to be posting on social media. At minimum, you need to be doing social media. It will help keep top of mind for current clients for sure, but the focus is more on bringing in new clients. When we're talking directly about retention, it's going to be all about your email marketing. You need to be sending out a weekly email to stay top of mind for your clients, okay? You can even utilize text marketing as well. Again, another reason why I love Gloss Genius. They make it super easy to stay on top of these things. So email marketing, staying on top of mind for people, going to be really, really important. If you haven't yet watched my video all about newsletters and email marketing, go back and watch that. That's going to be really helpful of like, okay, what do I do with this? Like, what do I talk about? What do I say? How often? All the questions that you probably have about that. But that's going to be step number 6, is making sure you're staying top of mind. And the best way to do that with current clients is through email marketing and directly marketing to them, not relying on social media. Not everyone sees every single post, okay? All right, guys. So if you follow these steps and you're consistent with it, every single time, I promise you, you're going to directly see your retention increase. Okay. It's all about consistency, and everything that we do for our business, it's about consistency. And I always like to compare to skincare, right? We're all estheticians. If you send a client home with an ingrown hair serum, or maybe you provide facials and you send them home with a new acne routine, they do it one time, they use the serum one time, they cleanse their face one time, they're not going to see any results. It's consistency over time where you start to see the results. So same thing with this, with working through this client experience every single time with every new client, you're going to see the results long term. We have to get out of always wanting to play short term. We always want these big instant results. We're looking for that one silver bullet, when in reality, it's a million golden BBs. This is one of your golden BBs. Be consistent with it, okay? And I promise you, the results on the other end are going to be huge. Retention is such a huge, huge, huge part of your business, and so incredibly important to have your focus on this, okay? From the very, very beginning. We don't want to put focus on this when it's too late and we notice a massive problem. We want to be focusing on this from the very beginning. All right. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Please make sure to subscribe before you head out. And if you're listening to this on any podcast platform, I'd be super, super grateful for a review. I always forget to ask for those, but I've seen a few come in, and it just makes us happy. We all have a big smile on our face knowing that people are listening. I'm not just speaking into the void of this creepy camera that's staring in my face every day. All right, guys, I'll see you back next week. Let me know if you have any questions regarding any of this. And if you put it into play and it works for you, I'd love to hear about that too. All right, bye.